Suddenly, within the entire valley, an oppressive wave of terrifying power swept out from Xiao Yan's body, and with his unwavering stance, as if not fearing death, the refining was completed with a loud splash. Xiao Yan, brother. What are you doing? Seeing the explosive aftershocks radiating from Xiao Yan's body, Xun'er quickly stood up. A scorching golden crow-shaped flame enveloped her as she rushed towards Xiao Yan, dispersing the searing mist. After a moment, she looked down at Xiao Yan, whose appearance was neither human nor dragon, and couldn't help but smile. What's wrong? Xiao Yan muttered as he saw Xun'er's strange expression, which she was struggling to suppress from laughter. He had just refined the power from the dragon source crystal, which had tempered his body, limbs, and even his soul, giving them a complete renewal. More importantly, the fourth transformation of Dragon God's transformation had successfully been achieved amid the explosive sound. Is this the fourth transformation of Dragon God's transformation? Half-dragon form? Xun'er casually waved her hand, and a spatial mirror appeared before Xiao Yan. The mirror perfectly reflected Xiao Yan's current form, and he couldn't help but exclaim in surprise. This is... Xiao Yan looked up at the mirror. Through the reflection, he saw his body, divided by a line at his brow. From there, his left side, including his left arm and the left side of his body, suddenly gained layers of thick dragon scales. Both the skin and the cyan dragon scales exuded an overwhelmingly terrifying aura. These cyan dragon scales were, of course, Basha scales. With the true bloodline of the dragon clan, Xiao Yan had merged Basha's dragon scales into his half-dragon form. Although it couldn't compare to the full Basha, even a strong warrior in the early stages of the 8-star Do Xian wouldn't be able to harm Xiao Yan through these dragon scales. This was one of the advantages of the half-dragon form, greatly enhanced defense. His left arm, left leg, and other parts of his body had all been transformed into dragon form, significantly boosting his physical quality and strength. However, the right side of his body, marked by the area around his brow, remained human, and his strength there was unchanged from before. Xun'er, try attacking me with all your might. Although Xiao Yan's appearance was quite awkward and uncomfortable, he could feel the massive improvements brought by the fourth transformation of Dragon God's transformation. Even with only the half-dragon form, it was an immense boost. His strength, body toughness, and overall power were many times stronger than in the third transformation of Dragon God's transformation. Ancient mirror. Xun'er nodded with a smile, a flicker of golden flame flashing in her beautiful eyes. Suddenly, a golden prism wrapped in golden flames appeared, and under Xun'er's delicate control, it shattered the void and shot towards Xiao Yan, sending terrifying energy ripples along its path. Clang. Xiao Yan did not use any Do Qi. His half-dragon arm suddenly raised, covered with cyan Basha dragon scales, and with a powerful punch, he shattered the golden prism. In an instant, the void trembled, but Xiao Yan was unharmed. Even his dragon fist, covered in Basha scales, emanated an overwhelming fighting spirit. Xiao Yan, you really are? Xun'er couldn't help but pout as she watched. Although her attack didn't use her full strength, even with her mid-8-star Do Xian power, a simple strike like that was impossible for ordinary 7-star warriors to intercept. Go all out. I want to test the limits of my half-dragon form. Xiao Yan swung his fists a few times, familiarizing himself with the changes in his body and the extreme power brought by the half-dragon form. He then called out to Xun'er. Oh! Xun'er smiled, her expression relaxing. She slowly changed her breath, and in an instant, her figure transformed from a cute, obedient girl into a divine celestial maiden. A terrifying and proud fiery aura surged from her body, 6 suns illuminating the day. Seeing Xiao Yan's terrifying dragon scales, Xun'er had no more concerns. She activated the sacred flame crystal within her, and terrifying sacred flame, combined with her pure Do Qi, surged out. In an instant, a golden crow several tens of meters large materialized in the valley. Roar! As soon as the golden crow appeared, a formidable pressure made Xiao Yan feel like he was facing a great enemy. However, Xiao Yan felt no fear, for he clearly sensed that Xun'er's attack was causing his blood to boil. The dragon qi is an intangible and ethereal force, a lingering presence born from Xiao Yan's absorption of dragon blood. It serves more as a symbol of his connection to the dragon clan. It is proud and roaring, seemingly ignited by the looming threat of powerful enemies. The dragon's aura within Xiao Yan's body surges, and an immense battle intent rises like the vast universe, expansive and awe-inspiring. Xiao Yan, be careful. This is the power of the sacred flame's origin, the strength of the golden crow. Even a true 8-star Docian in the later stages would be no match for it. Go! Xun'er gently reminded, her delicate jade hand shimmering with a drop of golden liquid, which she immediately flicked toward Xiao Yan's direction. Boom! The void shattered, and countless flames followed in rapid succession. The golden crow descended gracefully, as if a powerful being accustomed to high status, radiating divine energy that suppressed everything in its path. Nice try. Half-dragon transformation. Baxia's scale. Seeing such a terrifying attack, Xiao Yan's fire element Do core stirred, and the dragon god transformation surged into motion. A maddened roar erupted from within him. As Xiao Yan's voice echoed, the left half of his body was immediately covered by the green Baxia scale. A powerful force surged forth, and a vast Baxia soul shadow flickered behind him, barely visible but imposing. Boom, boom, boom. The speed increased dramatically. A punch was thrown, and the entire world seemed to dim. However, the two attacks in the valley slowly dissipated. Xiao Yan and the golden crow trembled violently and retreated at the same time. After a brief pause, Xiao Yan coughed up a mouthful of blood, and the golden crow shattered completely. Xiao Yan, are you all right? Seeing Xiao Yan in such a state, Xun'er immediately lost her composure, rushing to his side and supporting him, her face filled with guilt. Xun'er and Xiao Yan shared an innocent bond, and she naturally knew his pride, which was why she had been suppressing her own strength. However, she now felt a sense of self-reproach for her recent actions. Heh, I'm fine. Still, I have to thank you, girl, Xiao Yan laughed heartily, immediately losing himself in the warmth of her embrace. What? You actually used this opportunity to break through to the perfect 7-star Docian. Xiao Yan, you cheated. A sweet, light voice rang out, but more than that, it carried a sense of relief. With the perfect 7-star Docian level and the peak level 6th grade Immortal class Alchemist, although this was not Xiao Yan's full power, either of these identities alone would be enough to outshine all others. There was one day left until the Pill King City auction began. After successfully cultivating the 4th stage of the Dragon God transformation, Xiao Yan made sure that Yao Shigui and the Titan Giant's rock fragments were not in danger. He then set up several seal barriers before slowly retreating back to his residence. Along the way, nothing unusual occurred. The Pill Clan's grand ceremony was a grand event on the entire Doyun continent. In order to showcase that their clan had the most powerful alchemists across the entire Do-D continent, the Pill Clan would periodically issue invitations, gathering heroes from all over to attend the ceremony. This had resulted in the overcrowded situation in Pill King City. Due to the overcrowding in Pill King City, the Pill Clan's higher-ups had decided, 1,000 years ago, to hold a unique auction before the grand ceremony. At this auction, the items for sale were rare treasures from countless regions, carefully appraised and selected by the Pill Clan's experts. Each auction item possessed terrifying and unfathomable power, and some even included sacred tier pills that had appeared and been sold at past auctions. Thus, this rare auction had become a prelude to the grand ceremony, eagerly sought after by countless powerful beings. The Pill Clan ceremony was a stage designed specifically for alchemists, and while some heroes could only attend as spectators, the auction was different. Anyone with enough wealth could purchase their desired treasures. This was the reason so many powerful beings flocked to each Pill Clan ceremony. After all, the Pill King City auction was arguably the most prestigious auction in the entire Doyun continent. The pride of the ancient Pill Clan, coupled with the lofty status of their alchemists, meant that they would never auction off inferior items. Therefore, anything sold at the Pill King City auction was guaranteed to be of the highest quality. A day slowly passed. The night grew quiet, and all things gradually fell into a deep sleep. The night sky above Peking City was dotted with shooting stars, and a cold wind blew through the air. Xiao, the Pill clan's guards have sent over the invitation and number for tomorrow's auction. We are number 77. Yesterday, when I returned, Xun'er refrained from disturbing Xiao as he stabilized his power at the late 8-star Dou level. She quietly entered his room to alleviate the pain of longing now that his aura had stabilized. Auction? Huh? It's really giving me a headache, Xiao said as he got up, smiling at Xun'er before gently wrapping his arm around her slender waist. This time, the auction will be held live, Xun'er explained, as she leaned against Xiao's chest like a docile little bird. The auction will take place in the core auction hall of Peking City. No private rooms will be set up along the way. It seems all the participants will be present at the auction stage, making bids openly. Also, everyone must show their true faces. No hats or cloaks are allowed, Xun'er continued, conveying the details she had gathered. Seems like they've simplified the auction process, Xiao nodded thoughtfully. But Xiao, isn't the medicine clan worried about exposing the identities of the bidders? Xun'er asked, tilting her head in confusion. After all, for the treasures, many people might resort to underhanded tactics. From my perspective, this is exactly what the medicine clan wants. They are sending a message to other powerful factions, Xiao replied, his voice calm and firm. In their territory, anyone lacking reincarnation-level strength would think twice before attempting any ruthless acts. The medicine clan would swiftly eliminate such threats. Xiao, you're so smart, Xun'er said, her eyes filled with admiration. All right, let's get some rest. We'll attend this rare auction tomorrow. The night passed in silence, and the day of the auction arrived. As time passed, the much-anticipated auction in Peking City slowly began. Up ahead is the entrance to the auction hall, Xun'er said with a smile as she and Xiao, dressed casually, walked through the crowded streets. In the distance, they saw a grand silver building. However, they had underestimated the drawing power of the auction. The street was packed, with thousands of people gathered, though only a handful could actually enter the auction hall. From a distance, the auction hall resembled a massive bronze cauldron, emanating an aura of immense power. At the entrance, dozens of middle-aged men in gray robes with the character medicine on them stood in an orderly fashion, their presence exuding an oppressive force like a bottomless abyss. Please show your entrance pass, a tall man said sternly, inspecting the arrivals. Identity confirmed. Honorable alchemist, please proceed, the guard said respectfully after confirming their identities. Without further delay, the pair stepped onto the red carpet and walked toward the auction hall. Inside, the auction hall was enormous, with elite members of the medicine clan patrolling the area, making it impossible for anyone with ill intentions to break through the tight security. After a brief pause, a light gate appeared in front of them. As they passed through it, the spacious and brightly lit auction hall came into view. Before Xiao could survey the room, his vision was immediately filled with the dense crowd. Powerful individuals filled the hall, and the sound of lively discussions echoed throughout. The auction hall itself was a massive structure in Peking City, resembling an ancient battle arena. The auction stage at the center was surrounded by a circular spiral of seats, 18 rows in total. Each row could accommodate over 100 people, but the hall was already packed with nearly 10,000 attendees, each eagerly discussing which rare treasures would appear at the auction. With so many people competing, this auction promised to be fiercer than any previous one. Xiao, our seats are up ahead, near the auction stage, Xun'er said, taking his hand and leading him to the second row. The first 3 rows had excellent views and spacious gaps between the seats. Only the true powers of various factions or exceptionally talented individuals could secure these spots. Clearly, the nearly 100 people in the first 3 rows would be the central players in the bidding war, though some may be hiding their true identities in the midst of the crowd. Buzz buzz. At this moment, within the auction hall, people were coming and going, with powerful figures constantly pouring in. Clearly, this auction had attracted many different forces. Except for the strong individuals sitting in the front rows, who were quietly closing their eyes and sitting upright, the The rest of the hall was filled with constant chatter. This was undoubtedly a form of disdain and arrogance. After all, the forces behind those sitting in the front rows were already at the pinnacle of the pyramid on Doyun continent, while the people behind them were weaker, and their forces were relatively ordinary, which led to this situation. The Yin clan, the Lei clan, apart from your Gu clan, the other ancient 6 clans are all here, Xiao said, his eyes scanning the hall. He noticed several familiar figures emerging in the seats around him, people of high status and great influence. Ancient races all had their own distinct symbols, and with the rules of the Yao clan's auction, no one could disguise or hide their faces, making it easy for others to recognize them. I should still try to communicate with them. Although these guys might have some connections with my Xiao clan's ancestors, I always feel that Su Xiao's forbidden techniques are not simple, Xiao thought to himself, feeling a chill down his spine at the thought of Su Xiao's forbidden techniques. In addition to the ancient 5 clans, there are also some forces with status and power just below the ancient clans, such as the CS sect and the 10,000 Springs manor we encountered earlier. Xun'er nodded, then whispered in Xiao ear. It was clear that even with Xun'er's terrifying power, she still felt somewhat powerless in front of some of the elderly figures around them. The CS sect, are they really that strong? Xiao asked, glancing at a gray-robed elder sitting with his eyes closed beside Shun Hong and the others. The CS sect's overall strength may not be that strong, but they produce many alchemists within their sect, and they have some similarities with the Yao clan. Furthermore, it is said that Shun Hong is the leader of the younger generation in their sect, and he has almost reached the level of a 7-star Docian. Aside from that, the ancient 6 clans, including the Yao clan, cannot be underestimated. Whether it's their foundation or their strength, they will likely become obstacles for you, Xiao at the grand ceremony. But I believe in you, Xiao Xun'er said softly, her trust without reservation making Xiao feel comforted. After a brief pause, the two of them fell silent, waiting for the auction to begin. Boom, boom, boom. The noise didn't last long before a delicate bird, resembling a spirit bird, slowly flew up from the auction stage. A clear, melodious bell sound echoed throughout the hall. Under the sound of the pure white spirit bird, the entire auction hall fell silent. People slowly sat up straight, rubbing their fists in anticipation. Their fiery gazes were fixed on the auction stage, as if a battle without bloodshed was about to begin. Whoosh whoosh. With a flash, the spirit bird suddenly transformed into a brilliant streak of light. Within the light, a beautiful woman slowly emerged. The woman had a perfectly round jade-like figure, exuding an enchanting beauty. Her slender waist was delicately curved, and her chest stood proudly. Her long, flowing hair cascaded down like a waterfall, adding an air of mystery to her appearance. As she appeared, her delicate body swayed gently. Her light, graceful steps made her look as enchanting as a lotus flower, and her laughter was like the song of a lark. Such a stunning beauty could be called a disastrous woman, capable of bringing calamity to kingdoms. However, as this was the Yao clan's auction, none of the powerful figures dared to entertain any inappropriate thoughts. Creak. The sound of high heels softly tapping on the auction stage floor echoed, and the last bit of noise in the auction hall vanished. Welcome to the Yao Wang City auction. I am Yao Yun of the Yao clan, and I will be hosting this auction in its entirety. A magnetic, captivating voice slowly echoed through the hall, adding a unique flavor to the atmosphere. Yao Yun. It is said that this person is a true 8-star Docian powerhouse, and she is an extremely terrifying alchemist at the 7th grade of the immortal class. Among the Yao clan, only a few can rival her. To think that such a genius is personally hosting this auction? Could it be that the items being auctioned this time are unparalleled in the world? As they looked at the enchanting figure on the stage, whispers filled the air below. Yao Yun, huh? She is one of the Yao clan's key disciples. Although she has only been born into this world for a little over 100 years, her strength and alchemy skills have both reached impressive levels, making many elders in the clan quite envious. Yao Yun has been hidden by the Yao clan for hundreds of years. This time, with her personally stepping forward to preside over the event, it's likely a show of the Yao clan's power. After a pause, some notable figures in the first few rows murmured, revealing information that others could hardly understand. For this auction, to ensure the uniqueness of the items, our Yao clan has never leaked any details beforehand. This auction will feature 5 rare treasures. Please stay tuned, Yao Yun said, scanning the crowd before continuing. 5 items, huh? It seems there will be quite a storm ahead. Hearing Yao Yun's words, the strong individuals present nodded slowly, feeling a sudden heat surge within them. The Yao clan's auction is known for its strict confidentiality. They never waste time or effort on publicity, as their proud status as an ancient race, along with their identity as alchemists, ensures that each item showcased in their auctions is a top-tier selection. Everyone, please remain calm. It seems you are all getting impatient, so I will skip the pleasantries. I announce that the Yao clan's once-in-a-century auction is now beginning. A friendly reminder, the items up for auction this time will be the most grandiose ones in the history of our auctions. I wish you all the best of luck, Yao Yun said. With that, a dazzling crystal pedestal suddenly emerged from the ground in the center of the stage, followed by a delicate auction hammer and the crystal pedestal enveloping her slender figure. Is it finally starting? Watching this scene, the atmosphere at the venue became explosive once more. In the nearly 10,000-person auction hall, everyone's eyes were fiery with anticipation, and their dry lips slowly licked, unable to contain their excitement. What kind of shocking treasures could the 5 rare items be in this auction? I announce, the Yao clan's once-in-a-century auction is now beginning. As Yao Yun's sweet voice echoed, the pupils of countless people in the auction hall contracted sharply, their eyes burning with an unprecedented intensity and madness, fixated on the crystal pedestal. Next, we have the appetizer for this auction. Please pay close attention to the first item up for bidding, Yao Yun said, feeling the intense gaze of the crowd. Her slender fingers gently waved, and a small jade hammer tapped lightly on the crystal pedestal. The ground beneath the pedestal slowly shook, and layers of mist began to rise. Boom, boom, boom. With the sound of Yao Yun's action, a blinding white mist surged from the pedestal, its brilliance so dazzling that it temporarily blinded the eyes of the onlookers, but only for a few breaths. Moments later, a jade cage slowly emerged beside the crystal pedestal, entering the sight of the crowd. The jade cage was decorated with silver patterns, resembling ancient, mysterious symbols that exuded an overwhelming suppressive force. Inside the cage lay a strange creature with a brownish body. It coiled in a disc shape, making it impossible to see its true form. However, from the disc, a pair of cold, piercing eyes emerged, glaring with murderous intent at the countless figures outside the cage, and a fierce killing aura erupted. What is this thing? A magical beast? As the first auction item appeared, some of the strong individuals in the crowd exchanged looks. Strange, it seems like the temperature around it has risen significantly. Is it just my illusion? Xiao shook his head slightly. The jade cage was surrounded by a strong confinement, preventing any force from penetrating it. This is a battle soul, and it has reached the rare heavenly grade. As for the term battle soul, I'm sure all of you here are familiar with it. Yao Yun's eyes swept over the crowd, her voice ringing out. A battle soul? Is it really a battle soul? Hearing Yao Yun's words, a wave of commotion spread through the auction hall. For the many strong individuals present, those with a battle soul were rare beyond measure. Not only were battle souls incredibly hard to find, but cultivating them also required immense time and effort. However, the higher the rank of a battle soul, the more significant its advantages. Once a battle soul reaches the earthly level, it can trigger a fierce competition among the strongest of individuals. A battle soul directly enhances one's strength. For individuals of the same level, with the same battle techniques and cultivation, the presence of a battle soul could easily change the entire course of a battle. Battle souls come in different types, including those focused on attack, defense, and so on. Miss Yao Yun, stop keeping us in suspense and tell us what this item is. The appearance of the battle soul undoubtedly caused a stir, with some of the powerful individuals unable to resist speaking out, clearly already itching with interest. This item is called the Nether Flame Python. It belongs to the serpent species and is an offensive-type battle soul. It was obtained by one of my ancestors during a journey across the continent, taken from a magma mountain range. Its origin is clear, and everyone here can rest assured. This soul is untamable. Even some 8-star Do Xian experts cannot tame it. Moreover, due to its fire attribute, if it cannot be tamed, it could leave behind hidden fire ailments. Despite numerous powerful figures from my Yao clan attempting to tame it, none succeeded. Therefore, we had no choice but to reluctantly put it up for auction. Yao Yun explained in detail, trying to dispel the concerns of the onlookers. Hehe, this little kid is quite smart. But the excuse that no one from the Yao clan could tame it seems a bit far-fetched. Some of the elders in the front row couldn't help but think. Big brother Xiao Yin, this is a good item. If we manage to acquire it, it would be a huge boost for both you and Sister Kailin. Besides, with the fusion of the two battle souls, we might even create the legendary battle soul. Xun'er furrowed her brows, clearly aware of the extraordinary nature of battle souls, and especially one of this level, whose value would be on par with an immortal technique. Let's just observe for now, Xiao Yin said with a helpless expression, clearly not in a good financial position at the moment. Hee, just watch me, Xun'er said mischievously, with 2 dimples appearing on her face, making her look extra cute. Apparently, Xiao Yin had underestimated Xun'er's current status. After all, she was a girl who controlled the real power of the ancient clan, and her wealth could rival that of an entire nation. Since this is the first item up for auction, we will make an exception and auction it using gold coins, Yao Yun said with a smile. Gold coin auction? Is this really happening? Hearing Yao Yun's words, some of the interested experts in the back couldn't help but their eyes light up. After all, it was rare for an auction at Pilking City to use gold coins. The starting bid is 100 million gold coins, with increments no less than 10 million gold coins. Please proceed, Yao Yun said. Despite her seductive charm, she handled the atmosphere of the auction perfectly. 100 million gold coins? As soon as Yao Yun finished speaking, it immediately caused a stir. 100 million gold coins was obviously not a small amount. 100 million gold coins. But considering it this way, it's not too bad, Xiao Yin nodded slowly, clearly sensing that there was something special about the battle soul. The fire-like patterns on its body were so intricate that even Xiao Yin found it hard to perceive the mysteries within. Perhaps even the Yao clan couldn't figure it out, which was why it was being put up for auction. 200 million. Xun'er raised her hand slightly, speaking indifferently, instantly silencing those who had been bidding in increments of 10 million gold coins. What? Xiao Yin, hearing the voice, couldn't help but be slightly surprised. But then he felt it sounded very familiar. He turned around and saw Xun'er with a small tooth peeking out, smiling innocently at him. 200 million gold coins might be a large sum for ordinary factions, but for the ancient races standing at the top of the pyramid on the Doyun continent, it was as trivial as raindrops. After Xun'er spoke, the voices from behind faded. Although no one could recognize her, the imposing pressure emanating from her figure made the experts in the back feel a chill. At her young age, possessing such strength, she was likely a descendant of a super race, which made others reluctant to offend her. This little girl seems quite unfamiliar, but I've met many of the younger generation from the various sects on Doyun continent. It must be someone from the ancient clan, muttered a red-haired elder from one of the 5 ancient races. An ancient clan? 300 million, said Elder Yin. A red-faced, black-faced man behind Elder Yin murmured softly, 300 million. Both were from the Yin clan, and they were quite belligerent. They had held a grudge against the ancient clan for a long time, so now they were naturally willing to lend a hand. I didn't expect even the Yin clan would intervene. Seeing this, some of the opportunistic individuals in the back decided to give up on raising the bid. After all, the protective nature of the ancient races was not something they could contend with, and the battle soul alone wasn't enough to make them risk everything. 400 million, Xun'er said, her gaze shifting from Xiao Yin to the red-faced, black-faced man from the Yin clan, with a trace of coldness in her eyes. 500 million, the red-faced man replied. 600 million. This young lady is indeed wealthy and influential, so I shall not argue over this matter. The red-haired man cupped his fists and smiled, immediately exuding the air of someone eager to take advantage of a naive target. What a despicable Yin clan, making my Xun'er spend an extra 400 million for no reason.